Hey guys, Aaronoticz here, back with another video. A couple of weeks back, I made a video talking about the potential animes that is in contention for anime of the season for the spring 2019 anime season. Those were my picks for what shows I think will most likely win anime of the season. And this video is basically going to be a continuation of that, but this time I am naming my pick for anime of the season for the spring 2019 anime season. So let's get started. So if you've watched that video, I said that Kimetsu no Yaiba was the leading contender for anime of the season. And obviously if you've seen the title, that's obviously not the case anymore. And the reason why is because Attack on Titan at this point has become pretty much TV at its finest, right? And since the release of that video that I made, Attack on Titan has released episodes after episodes after episodes of just greatness. And honestly, there's really nothing else you can say, man. Like, it's just really risen above everything else this season. And the main reason why is because of 2 episodes from Attack on Titan, which is Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2 episodes 5 and 6. These 2 episodes, for me, is the reason why I'm talking about Attack on Titan as anime of the season right now. So let's discuss these 2 episodes and tell you why I think Attack on Titan is anime of the season for the spring 2019 anime season.
Worse it means you're bigger, why do you hide? I was deeper, it's suicide, but if the storm inside, don't give a call or run, you're a zero, you're bigger.
Episode 5 of Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2 did something amazing that most shows really would not have done. This episode is probably the climax of this season, right? Like, 3 things happened in this episode that most shows would have probably covered in like 2 or 3 episodes. But as we very well know, Attack on Titan is not most shows. 3 important key climactic moments happened. Levi defeating the Beast Titan, Reiner being defeated, and obviously Armin's sacrifice and Eren's victory at the hands of the Colossal Titan. Attack on Titan crammed these 3 climactic moments into 1 episode, which is great, which is amazing. And I could talk all day about how great Wit Studios animation is for the episode, right? Like, I could talk all day about Levi and the Beast Titans fight and how amazing it was animation wise and all of that, right? I could talk all day about the hype that I felt. I could talk all day about how great the production quality of Attack on Titan was for this episode. But for this episode, that's really not the thing that carried this episode for me. I think the MVP of this episode was definitely the score and music that they used. Mostly because the score in this episode was so much on point. Everything. The music and score in this episode elevated it so much. That's the thing that really, to me, really made this episode, like, great. And it's not just the fights, right? It's not just the fights or the things that were happening on screen. It's the music and the emotions that it made you feel watching it. That's the thing that I loved about this episode, and I think that makes this episode stand out. Which is why the decision for the next episode was all that surprising. Because if in this episode, the music was the MVP, episode 6, the next episode after this, is the exact opposite. Episode 6 had almost no music, no score throughout the entirety of the episode until the very last second. And it baffles me how bold of a decision this was. The fact that this episode almost went completely scoreless for the entirety of the runtime and was still the best thing about the episode, when the previous episode had the music be the biggest factor in why that episode was such a big success. It's crazy. It baffles me. But that's Attack on Titan right there. Taking big risks and succeeding big time. Reading the episode of music until the very last seconds of the episode really sold you on the dire situation that these characters were in. It really captured the difficulty of the situation that the characters were placed in that particular episode. The difficult decision that Levi had to make between choosing Erwin or Armin. The characters breaking down, and everyone just putting their own input. It was a chaotic episode in its own right, without any kind of major action-packed event happening in the episode, but it still worked so well. And then at the end of the episode, when Levi had already decided, he already made his choice, having the music only play at that moment, it really gave that scene a bigger impact, because that's the only time in the episode that you ever hear the music ever play in the background. And the music that played in that very last moment when Levi already made his decision was heavy and melancholic, but at the same time a bit hopeful. Very reminiscent of the choice that these characters had to make. But the episode would have never worked if not for the great performances that the voice actors and actresses did for this episode. I am not a big, I'm really not that big into the seiyuu and the voice acting world. I'm not one of those fans that can instantly recognize a voice and link that to a voice actor or link that to his voice actor, right? I've never really been that knowledgeable about voice acting and voice actors in the anime medium, but for this particular episode, I am giving every single voice actress, every single seiyuu that appeared in this episode a shout out, like right here. Every single one of these guys, of these people right now on screen, they deserve all the appreciation for carrying this episode. They're the reasons why this episode worked so well, even without the music. So yeah, those are the two episodes that really clinched Attack on Titan for anime of the season, for the spring 2019 anime season. I also want to talk about the episode 8, the info dump episode, right, where we pretty much learned a whole new slew of information that really changed the narrative of the show. The information that we learned pretty much contradicts every single thing that we thought we knew about Attack on Titan. What episode 8 also did was it gave us the bigger picture. It gave us where the series might potentially be heading towards. And it made the Titans story more tragic. Because before this episode, Titans were the monsters, right? They were the monsters that had to be taken down. They were eating people and killing people. And even though we knew that Titan shifters existed and we knew that the Titan shifters were kind of the enemy, the Titans were still a big threat to that, right? They were still the monsters that had to be taken down. But after this episode, that's really not the case anymore, because now the Titans are just a tragic and poetic story, and it completely changes your views on the show completely, right? Like, it completely flips the narrative, and everything you thought you knew about Attack on Titan is, well, it's useless, basically. So yeah, Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2 is the spring 2019 anime season, at least for me. It was a great season. Wit Studios just did a phenomenal job with this season, and I think it's well deserving for the title of Spring 2019 Anime of the Season. But before I end this, I just want to talk about the situation that we could be facing for season 4 of Attack on Titan, with Wit Studios potentially being out. There's rumors of Wit Studios not going to be adapting season 4 of Attack on Titan like this could potentially be the final season that Red Studios will handle Attack on Titan, and I'm pretty saddened by that, because I don't have any doubt that another studio out there is going to eventually take over Attack on Titan animate season 4 for us, because it is just that big of a brand at this point, right? Attack on Titan has become like huge that it's impossible for other studios out there to not take Attack on Titan. So I'm not worried about season 4 not happening. I'm just worried that we might be seeing another One Punch Man situation here, alright? But I mean, there's really nothing we can do. All I'm hoping for is that season 4 is on par and is on the same level as the other seasons that came before it. That's all I'm hoping for. So yeah, if you like the video, comment down below, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't. This is Aaronoticz, blasting off. Peace.